Heavenly
Father, we ask that you keep decisions for us who aren't able to be with us now. So I'd ask. We ask you to bless this meeting, let us back home.
Honey.
Keith Oscar.
Honey.
John Ricky Hargis.
Here.
Curtis Smith. David Thornton. Stick.
So moved.
Second.
Okay.
Good afternoon, Council. Are there any questions from that? Now, there are more current with our Elder Angel Tree in 14 counties. So, that donate to our elders in our community. The light, we will open it, and that's this, or if was audited. 0% errors are allowed. Yay for our top here. Cherokee parents, they're going to do a mail out. Actually, are going to be in counties. Is where we're doing our person group visits. Is going to Wada and Delaware County. Constituents are asked. That's what it. Delaware County, no water community, Bonita Health Clinic. And now, well, it's long off. What it is a 3 counties, but we've got, so those are the counties, when the program is counties that.
You're in Adair County now?
In Mays, on the 4 to 5. Let's see. The communities is $28,000 for a smoothie. Already heard about it. And Sequoia, Adair, and Cherokee. And we do have, it's coming up. In the program, one will be receiving donated food. It may be receiving the 630 and Carl Albert, now going on at Stillwell. And one of some items, a few incentives, and it ends. It's in. Any questions about any of that? And those have to have 150 participants. We'd like to get 50 from each area. Anything?
Harley, did you? All righty. Yes, sir.
We want to wait, Barb, till later? Or?
Could go through the reports, probably that's that old business.
He's out on medical leave, whole court, and if I can't answer. If that's, that'd be fine. Transportation goes in Adair County that have been around a little while, 3/4 mile section. We've got those right-of-way issues, and we have full of utilities as soon as those. I can't think of the name. What's that road?
They'll work about that this week.
Good. Greasy School, right-of-way acquired through the county right-of-way acquisition process. They may not have started appraisal work out and on the actual landowners, but that has been. There's a couple of bridges. One bridge having to those are built. That project all the way to the area. A couple of landowners near those bridges that should be Cherokee County. The Grace Hut are acquiring right of way on that, so we're right of way to acquire, but things are out South Cherokee County here on that project with a concrete curb, first lift of asphalt on it for the most part. And Delaware the 18th to have a ribbon cut up there. One in legal to be an overlay, but we're having to replace some drainage. Is under construction now as well as completed. We'll begin Creek Bridge located on the stand south of Grove. Cooperative project completed right now. They do have the piers. Their last steel tied. Lastly, I just want to mention that our working with the Celine Courthouse, fairly extensive walking. They're helping them the equipment to clear that trail out. If you don't area up there, and it's going to be a real pristine place. Mr. Chair, that's my report.
You Whitewater Bridge.
I'll check.
If you would, just email me. And the crew go up to Slane Courthouse. Complete everybody for letting them do that.
Yes, sir. Anyone? Good, Mike.
Our report. But I did want to do at the bottom is achieve financial following ties to this table right here where it's in the self-secure in each one of those categories to the family and stability, the sector of those programs, but we've actually term counseling and purchase a home. None of those long years on their homes, so amount of pre-count whether or not they have the to answer any questions.
Hey, Anna, the department?
It is.
Okay. Wait, because a lot of our, they believe us are trying to bring in that I think that's going to help a lot of people.
Actually, it is to their church, which is important to
Sure.
a lot of our bring any kind of.
Great. Anyway, that's all I have.
Thank you. Anna. Come on down. We'll get you.
Well, you received my report, and they really have a whole lot of same groups, help the same types of situations. This month we did remove, or I'm sorry, the month will be 0, some it'll be 7. So we just recently supervisor trained for social workers through a group rock and just kind of and stuff. It was nation to receive this partnership grant. It's a 5-year grant, planning grant, where we work together to better figure out how people know their social work department and I work well together. Graduates that are Cherokee, let them do some internships and things of that nature right here in our own hometown. But because we series, each man in their department have come to the table to decide at what they've chose to keep children and families. That's just kind of an oversight to 4 years out for our goals. And so lots of things have been being like those maybe over the next several.
And if you after reading your report, the tribal court advocacy are cases which are wholly under the jurisdiction involved.
Sure.
Give me an example.
At WW Hastings with methamphetamine in their system, Child Protective Services, that goes to the hospital. We do removed or not. If we believe there's emotional or physical damage, AG's office, we discuss it with the attorney, then we then call a judge, get that child into custody. And then their first hearing, this is not involved in Cherokee people on tribal land. We don't need anyone. They do it.
And the reason because it gets the department system and
Sure.
the state doesn't have any control. I read your report. You were saying
Right.
that's told how many cases you.
Well, we currently have about 80, about a steady number at any time to 82,
Okay.
but anywhere in our custody.
Okay.
Families. And so some people with the family students and keep our kids with our families. So it's a double-edged sword. You could just find something else, rehab, and need to go back clean, and the child's back with their family.
Or aren't restricted. Is that something we're going to?
Be a question for the AG's office. I moved from Hastings and the relationship with Realty, where we basically get the report.
Okay.
I don't know a whole lot beyond what.
Keep in mind, especially
Sure.
when they get all. And I.
Yes, sir. Janice.
The standards went into effect in December, but there is an do away with those to go back to just a speak to that.
Oh, at all against ICWA. I mean, it did go into effect December. Of course, with our new presidency coming up, I just know what going to happen or what the next several months might probably be better to speak. But as of now, here's what the new guideline. DHS workers, his office might be a little better equipped on what.
Anyone else?
We're pretty short anyway. I thought you.
No better than that.
Well, I'm here. I want to. I think I mentioned before. Rehab department are they're down here now. Housing authority owned buildings. And also bring a lot of on one campus. CO used to be in purchasing and contract folks are there. So done out of that one behind them, and then homes are sitting there next to them. So we are also, I know, I served on negotiated rulemaking committee. It was a long process. Final rules, the final regulations went in December. So regulations have been published, and this will be affected. I think for the rulemaking committee only had to look at anything else. Committee come up and probably other regulations around the. So regulations that don't go in 2018, but we're getting pretty close. All I have that I wanted to be sure questions, I'll be happy to try to answer.
Looking better in the near future.
In front of you, but let me glance back there on rental assistance on college housing. So at least we will look at that for one reason or for non-families. There's a 20 assistance. That drop off for that reason from that move out. But there is no maximum assistance if they are elderly, handicapped, or forever to anticipate how many people for those reasons.
It's call after call from rental assistance, and like I said, I know your hands are full. There may be some tribal dollars or something. We
do have the emergency rental assistance type situations. Two is whenever folks depend try to do is point them to properties out there that receive project-based rental assistance now, but chances that one will 90, 120 days. Your garden walks.
Oh. Just getting
Yeah, well,
it, you know,
and-
the 30,
and-
60, you know, cycle coming around. So another question I had for you, Housing Authority. Hey,
Look, for sure, we have 3, 4 off the top of my head. We have
need some,
no.
the woods, in my neck of the woods, you know, we had plumbing issues addressed, and it don't need. I can answer that one. I've thought of something. So I sound like a spender, conservative, but in an email I sent out would be dirt, the federal regulations, but need for, and that, you know, I've thought, this is not you, I've thought about, maybe if they're here yet, they bailed me out on some wood, just 0 red tape, and nobody knows how much money they make. Get into that a little more, and that's what I was gonna say, and also about, and I talked to Secretary, I talked to Chief, about the employee at Stillwell, put in her resignation and doing the procedure, and she asked for her position back, and don't lie with you, co-workers' blood, and that mattered to me. Full blood, fluent speaking Cherokee, and just told no, and Chief let me know that, well, the ones I've talked to, and that the committee knows, some of you didn't know, but from what I hear, there's really no word, but that position's not filled. I have an elder that would show any things like this, even stick in people's craw, is what we say at people. Like I said, full blood, fluent speaking. I think people, how she was all directed at you, Gary. Sure, you know, we've got things out here. Appreciate some consideration on fair experience.
You're welcome.
Comment on
Yes, sir.
the issue that he's talking. Would that be the board or
Employment-related issues, myself.
you? On it, did you,
Unfortunately, I can't comment on any type of
Done, reached out, and just
Tara,
it's not going to pay. It really stuck with me.
You're welcome. One question I might have, is there still time for her to file an appeal? Can you say that even? If you can't,
Since we're in an open meeting, I would be hesitant to say, because
That's
I would have to look and see when the appeal is dependent upon, there's a time limit from whenever something occurred.
I understand.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
I just have one recommendation on this employee, is if we could, if we were to bring her back, to put her on some type of supervision evaluation, take place with this employee. That'd be my recommendation. Thank you. Thank you, Chair.
You're welcome. Harley.
Gary, I just want to follow up on what Councilor Crittenden was talking about plumbers.
Mm-hmm.
And I know we've discussed this before, and I've had some citizens call me. Matter of fact, it's a couple from Grove. Well, they didn't have anybody to call. Is there any way, or have you looked into, or maybe we have a person that's on a contract or a open contract in those particular areas to where we could call them and like do it, or is that the application first, or so we can't get somebody on contract?
To run into over on our side is just what you brought up, the application services. That's going to be.
You know, they got to wait till Monday, 4 degrees outside, and you really can't case them. But to me, like we could, well, you do have travel plans. Take the application on. If we had those particular people, Stillwell or see that area there to work. I just wish there was something that we could do.
And I think You know, one of the things if they come to find out they weren't eligible to receive services.
Yeah, and I realize they're gonna find something like that, but
Even you know, even if whenever we took the application, what if we found out that they weren't even a tribal member?
well, I think if they call a council member, most council members know their constituents enough in their district to know if they're a Cherokee or not. So that part would be taken care of because as a council member, we're the one that gets the calls on a Friday night or a Saturday. And what do we do? Sit there and say, well, we can't do anything until Monday. I just push there was a call and say, well, we've checked this person if we got calls and stuff like that. They can do that. I'm more flexible in federal dollars. I know this is on another subject. A question I had last month on loans. And if you'd like to, what I'm getting at by bringing this out is the loans back, and here we got fixed and can't get it. It's not right here. You know, where we can off on loans, $200 to pay. So they come up with an idea for us to help our people on a Friday night or a Saturday. Something to think about.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
I think you advised the chair, this employee, and so deferred that. And if any more questions of that nature, we'll come right back.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Gary, guy on all this, and so I want more Ivan and what Councilor Buzzard on the plumbing issue. I mean, and I believe you're just
We just got an application just a few days before that.
Right.
From her.
Before Christmas.
Yeah.
And I don't know where. Came in an email on this a long time ago too. But she's very long time coming to ever get that rough across from McLean.
Mm-hmm.
See, they keep going out changing the blue tires that I haven't made it up. I'm just, you've been very, very good.
I don't disagree with that before, but you know, ever since rehab has transferred over, a lot of change. And I think we'll continue to see the things that you know we try everything we can. But a lot of it to us. A lot of times they've got it, you know, a lot of times send it to me, and a lot of times I find out, well, no, they lost the deal. And until we actually know whether or not this person even is eligible, true emergency where someone working facility, you know, things of that nature, just if you get someone out. A lot of times we have to depend on outside contractors and the other program, and usually when it's to him is the application, and then so you know it's difficult.
Back to what Councilor we have now, the ramp. Well, the handicapped gentleman that was days with the application, just me. I mean, I kept nothing ever happened. And saying is, these delay the person. To me, that's because of that.
The one that we'd visited on.
And after the guy passed away, but it's eat on me. Kanan was working on it. We had to wait on, you know, you cleared. Had to be an application, had to be, and that never.
Bilingual staff all over. I have some counselors who request, have worked with in the past, to come out and collect it, you know, collect the from families so that we can to get the application. The Benita, you know, to help filling out over that they need someone to come out. If you send me an email and really they might need a little bit of help with it, since my staff asks. A lot of times it's out. We try to say that, you know, unless come over here, it's difficult to
to that deal we have now. But
yeah, and I think, you know, I think a week.
Cherokee, you know, because
know that I knew that.
Cherokee, she just needed it.
In this particular instance, when it came, some of the new safety net for the local plumber, is that right? Was sent in to complete, and then the work was completed.
The work has been the application. Several days after she filed the
Since we did utilize a new, my understanding is we utilized and that.
Okay. You know.
And I, you know, don't last. Hopefully it always does. G is more complete.
And you know, Friday, I think is when the plumber was going to be. Went out, and it was. Even we even thought then. Into his start was talking about. He kind of knew whenever they got out there was. I was originally led to believe
out there that it was long enough to get us through the holiday.
what I'd seen based on what looks like that.
Okay, good. Just want to send you,
Absolutely.
Chairman.
Need to move on. Yeah, Mr. Thornton.
Yes, of course, I'm up a little bit of y'all in this forward with the nation. And 2000, win the program. Well, all that was turned in, come through had a rehab application at that time. It was one simple pay. Back to that, and that's my budget. This, because we different of, and we had a group here, one down in Coy County, and we had our own water people. Jobs there for Cherokee came through this committee, this application. Words, if it was John, and you knew him, about everybody, and you knew him, if he was low income, it didn't make his cattle, it made a difference. Wasn't approved. But these be done tomorrow to that, a whole lot better. Whether they're elder parent with difference. And you'll have to start a new, different way. You get to them. Might be repaired. One of the first, when I become a knife cut, she knew on the low stools it wasn't handy. I had to get her, this boy get her a stool. I wasn't going to furnish her one. I called the local lumber, put it in, and that bill got paid. That has to make a change. But what I'm telling people, to improve the quality, but this need, people, there's a lot of won't yourself. So,
Thornton, my Uncle Joe, guys, and horse for the trees, or however you say it. We're always a definition. I didn't really know. I would love to visit. Tweaked and tweaked and tweaked. It was meant to call a guy that Harley. You think this is an emergency? That elder don't do with that toilet here in the big afterthought. Just go pay. I want to revisit the thing that I brought to the table because Mr. Thornton, at your convenience, visit. I'm sure everybody here
that this committee usually, and I'm getting into extend this because of issues. It's a very year. We ask a lot of questions. Yes, sir.
how's he think about is where the funding, right? It comes, you can do what you want to. You want to back it, people, and but it isn't their fault. And some of the things that need were, and I think there's this FD, but just remember that pay for this program if you want to pull them, but you got to do it. It isn't anyone else can do it for you every month because it's not being done when you've got the power to do it. I wouldn't call it the power, but my thought on that. Thank you.
Would that be something we'd bring up?
Probably. Okay. One thing though, it's, if we were at a one-page application, then we need to review that lengthy, I know, for emergency. We're going to, and obviously that's that application again and revise.
Thank you, Speaker.
Question, comment?
Well, either may be something that we can utilize instances. I mean, it's something to.
Okay, Gary, let's move on to old business.
Thank you, Chair. This is a discussion COVID program like.
Second.
Have a motion and second.
We don't have a resolution or an act.
There's no written resolution. This is just discussion only, David.
It's closing vouchers, and the issues were is getting 100% of the business, stage isn't in Stillwell, and some of these other outlying areas. Is Barbara here? Yes. Hey, can you come up here? I had Barbara from a card that card and then do some other places.
Okay. We kind of pulled a report and put a lot of different things in here, all the proposal. We looked into some information. I don't know if everyone has had a chance to look at it, to put some comparisons in there. In July, any changes that coming upon us. So,
Statement, when I got that, did on that. Everybody in here, because I don't know how many hours she spent on it. It was the extent that Stages was impressed. I didn't know. I want to thank her, Angela.
I guess the question, do we continue to try to make recommendations? Oh, when we're in Sequoia High School areas, they have to drive 30 minutes to install. The teacher has to make another 30-minute trip, big inconvenience to receiving this assistance that these people perform. So,
Heard from proposal in writing for the option. I want to put it, but we need to see that in writing.
a proposal.
A little piece of legislation.
I don't know where.
I guess it be addressed to Barbara. How many applicants on our clothing?
6,000.
Sounds like a good question. Who's going to ask the question? Decide. Give them an option. I look at the state years that we've had to the Cherokee Nation, and they were 10 or 12, and give it to those kids who don't have stage stores in Stillwell. Is that right? If they go to Stillwell to go to a stage store, those vouchers. Oh, 6,000 people will do a survey, or Walmart, you know. Done. That's the reason we got smart people. Anyway, that's my input. I like in places that don't have stage stores, but they're Walmart stores. So, what? That's my input.
The comments I get from them is that Stage doesn't provide styles of clothes or whatever. I mean, if you're priced, then Stage is location. That's what people.
Is that feasible? Did I say that? Well, I was looking. Now, is that feasible? I don't want to. Harley and Brian has I don't want to impede on them. The only reason that I'm mentioning don't have one.
And that's why we listed.
Two.
You know, it's really up to the council and changes that you'll want to make.
And
that's why we put some so that.
Right. But is it all?
So that you could. It would be better to choose one.
Okay.
Instead of splitting it up with two different companies or any of that. Talk about staff hours also.
Here, and of course, my neck of the woods, we don't have one. It is infringe on anybody else, but I'm a whole lot better. So that anybody else, I'm for Walmart.
How difficult would it be, Councilor Buster, state?
We would have given you, some of it's really detailed. We have a lot of options there, but we'd have to get some figures if the council chose to move in those directions.
Right.
Yes. Well, like Harley said about the intuitive, where you may see the, and you've got the convenient cards, costly to the Cherokee Nation. Hey, and I think that's your next. Moving on, what do you do? Well, okay, let's give them an option, but you may do 4,000 that because Stage may say, well, hey, we've been, and now we've gotten cut instead of doing. It's probably not going to go 50-50 split cost on the convenient cards because there's your one option, and it says here can be utilized at Stage, Walmart, Kachinas, Dollar General, etc. But what is that cost? And I think that's probably where we're at. Yes. Thank you.
I'd like to hear from Barbara just for a second. She was about to give us some info.
We just need, the topic was brought up, so the purposes, we're not asking you to choose someone else today. We're not, if you want to stick with Stage, that's fine. Is that, our new year on this starts July. It's that if we're going to do something different, we need to do it future, not by July. But you're the council.
The changeover is
If
gonna
you
take
say,
so much time.
if you say do it, then you have to do it. But for,
Can you
just
explain
for us.
the convenient card, like Councilman Warren was saying? It seems like the convenient cards, if they're not too costly, would probably be the people will have whatever option they want to go with.
And there is a page in here, a couple pages in the proposal, but it goes under the convenience card. So much for setup that you can look at. There's different prices. And, currently we give $100 for the clothing and we give $50 for the coat. And also to keep in mind, those are at different times. To kind of closer to winter, do we give that $50? I mean, if there's changes, you have to make there's a lot of decisions to be made. Would you change it into 150 instead of 100 and then 50 later? Or, will people purchase coats at that time if you gave them the total 150? So there's a difference because, the prices is the thing that you have to look at.
Yeah. I like the less staff hours put on just the Cherokee Nations, thousands of dollars just with employee hours putting into it. Is maybe mailing the cards out and maybe hammer to maybe the scholarships. That may cost they may eliminate some staff hours, which would
a lot of the human services staff, and we do have a few still that volunteer, but all of those people have other jobs that they're doing, and we do pull them, so we do put some hours. We have great people, just to do some of the programs.
Act alone, but is there any way that we could different stage Walmart cantinas or the convenient cards, or I think that'd be.
I don't know that I want to get your vote.
I mean,
I'm looking at my council. Appropriate.
A resolution or meeting.
I wonder if
a poll on
get a individual.
that sounds good.
Chair. The council, if you haven't read these proposals, not campaigning for stage, but coats or clothing issues, if you look at it'll cost you $1.
We want, but I respect that department because Marcia and the rest of them. I mean, is this something that I'm not looking here, you know what I mean, from what?
An additional option possible? The additional option would be, but we offer $1 or more card to people who live. I don't know if that's safe for the fact that I'm not opposed to trying to find a way to make it a little. So we're just putting that out of the way to help.
Mr. Walking Stick calls, thoughts?
Quick comment, question to Barbara. Next year's program, what was to have to make that happen?
I think we could start I think we need to not write the program over in July with what we're doing, information to the dollar figure with our application and the program.
Councilor's asking, what date? Is it September?
No.
If you guys have contract signed, we don't want to get into that, so all that takes place. And all that.
And unless you want to, it would be best because all the people that we're going to be do everything to get this program going nation. So if we could, it's I want to leave it to you. If I'm choosing, then I would say after we get.
Well, all of this is hypothetical anyway. Game here.
Yes.
Once he does his poll, we might not even have this conversation.
Okay, thank you.
Table that for.
Yeah, table it.
I'm sorry.
Hey, Barbara, appreciate you.
Thank you, Barbara.
Thank you.
We vote on tabling and tabling to win.
Who seconded?
Yeah, definitely.
The rest of
Motion to table, Chair, for next month.
Second.
I forgot I'm on new business. Would you like to take it, sir?
Yes, to revise and update the Cherokee Nation's inventory of tribal transportation.
Chairman?
Yes, sir.
Be added as responsible.
Me too. Does this need to go?
What?
Does this need to go?
No.
Thank you. All opposed? I'll accept it.